also have one of our biggest sellers, Athar. This was back in 2021, who's currently still selling, mostly in the US market now, but this is 13.7k pounds. Okay, so if you do the conversion for that, that's quite high. Okay, and this was on one of his seller accounts. If you're an Aussie who's looking to sell on Amazon using FBA, whether it's here in Australia or selling in other markets like the US or the UK, this video is aimed to teach you all of that. And there's a lot of information out there that is really geared towards the US, but there's not too much out there for Amazon Australia. Hey there, my name's Jack Perotta, and if you are a new viewer to this channel and you haven't watched any of my videos, I want to welcome you. And if you're a returning viewer, then I want to welcome you back. Now, if you don't know what my content is all about, I gear all of my content towards e-commerce for Australians, and that includes Amazon FBA. So I first started selling on Amazon FBA back in 2016, 2017, and I've been teaching it for the last 5 and a bit years. It was around the last 5.5 years. So I know a thing or two about the platform, and just in today's video, what I want to talk about is really what Amazon FBA is and what the business model entails, okay, what you can expect if you're looking to get started selling on Amazon. And really, if you're sort of watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, why would I want to get started selling on Amazon? I just think it's a great opportunity, especially selling in the Aussie market, if you want to grow yourself an online business, another online income stream, and really help yourself financially. Because in this day and age, unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder for a lot of people to just live off their current income, to just have one single job, whether you are single, whether you have a family, you have multiple people in the household working, whether it's you and your partner, you're both working. Sometimes it still can be hard to keep your head above the water, and that is something that I myself obviously understand. It's not just you out there, okay? There's a lot of other people, including myself, who have gone through these periods of time where it's just it gets hard out there. And really what I want to show you with this, and what I want to really help you guys out with this channel, is to show you how you can actually help yourself with that. And growing an online income with your own online business is a really great way to help you, help supplement your income. Okay, the goal of this isn't always to just quit your job, quit your 9 to 5, work full time on your own online business. A lot of people here just want to make a bit of extra income to help them each day, each week, and each month. So before I get into explaining what Amazon FBA is, the business model, and what it really entails and how you can get into it, I want to show you just a couple of numbers here from students of my own course, from Ecom Educate. Okay, like I said, I've been teaching people for the last 5.5 years, been selling on it on the platform myself, but I really want to show you here, if I jump into my computer, this is in our private Facebook group. Okay, this is in our student group, Ecom Educate. I want to show you just some of the numbers which some of these complete beginners has started off with, right? And this is something that's going to be really important to you, because you sort of, the information out there when it comes to online e-commerce, just creating an income for yourself online, it can be quite confusing. And I just want to show you just some of the numbers which complete beginners have been able to produce, right? And it's really, really important to know that the people that make these numbers are not experts, right? So they're just like you and me, complete beginners. They are looking to create an income or create something to supplement for themselves to really help them out. And I've been doing this for quite some time. Like we said, we have numbers from more recent. We have numbers from back in 2019, right? So this is one of our students, Numair. Okay, this is selling 3,000 per month, right? And this is just starting Amazon FBA from brand new as a complete beginner. And I'll talk about profit margins as well and things like that later on in this video, because it's really, really important to know. We have, as of more recent, from mid last year, 2022, okay, we have Fan, who is selling the last 30 days 2.8k in revenue on her Amazon business, right? If we scroll down here, we have a lot of these numbers. We have bigger numbers as well. So I have Rafay, this is back in 2021, who is still currently selling on Amazon, right? Especially here in Australia, 15.6k in revenue in the last 30 days, right? Which is huge numbers. We also have one of our biggest sellers, Athar. This is back in 2021, who's currently still selling, mostly in the US market now, but this is 13.7k pounds. Okay, so if you do the conversion for that, that's quite high. Okay, and this was on one of his seller accounts. Huge numbers, okay, and if you factor in profit margins of, say, let's say on the lower side, 30%, that is a quite good chunk of change to have, to keep yourself, to keep that nice cash flow going. Even if you are, currently working, it's something to really, really, I think you should really, really focus on, or at least start learning about, because it's something that is so important. Like Athar here, he started back in 2020. and he started as a complete beginner himself, and he's been able to grow. Here's another one we have from late last year, Monica. Okay, so she's gotten to the point where she was selling $1,000 in the last 7 days on her Amazon business. Complete beginner. Okay, I really love hearing about these stories, right? They're just crazy because they're not just from complete beginners, but they're complete Aussie beginners, okay? So just like yourself, if you're looking to get started selling on Amazon, just so you know, there's a whole bunch of other people who are wanting to get started and who have this doubt in their mind of, okay, is it going to work? But I just want to let you guys know that if you have the right guidance there, of course it's going to work. It's going to take time and effort. It doesn't just fall in your lap. With all of these sellers who make these numbers here, it doesn't just fall in their lap. So again, this was back when Raf was first starting to grow his seller account. Okay, 2021, he started selling. This was in the last 7 days, almost 2K in revenue, right? And again, you factor in profit margins of, say, 30% in that on the low side, you're looking at a good chunk of change to have in your back pocket, right? Just want to talk about the reason why I'm showing you these numbers. And it's not to gloat, it's not to try and reel you into enrolling into my course or any coaching or anything like that. You don't have to get into any coaching. You don't have to get into anything paid, right? You can watch stuff for free on YouTube like you're doing with this video, right? The course is just there for those of you who want to get more in-depth information, who want to have it laid out for you, a proven step-by-step method, and then also to get involved in the community. But the reason I'm showing you the sales numbers, these success stories from these beginners, is to really show you that this does work. And you don't have to be some IT guru, you don't have to be a tech whiz, okay? You don't have to have owned your own online business before, any business for that matter. All of these sellers who have started producing these numbers have just done it off their own backs, off their own hard work, right? It takes time, but they are from complete beginners, right? And all they did was follow a proven step-by-step method, and then they went out on their own and got their first product sent to Amazon, and they started selling, right? And they started growing, okay? Obviously, it's not always just going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be bumps along the road. A lot of these sellers that you saw, especially the big sellers that were doing 15K plus per month, it wasn't just smooth sailing. There was a lot of road bumps along the way. But if you persevere through this, just like any business, just like any venture that you do in life, right? If you stick with it, you'll reap the rewards, you'll reap the benefits of that. So what I've got on my screen here is just something that is really, really important. It's just the really basics of what Amazon FBA is, because a lot of you out there are probably thinking, okay, what is Amazon FBA? How does it really work? So first of all, let's just say you want to start selling on Amazon. What does it entail? Okay, first you're going to need a product to sell, which we'll get into in a second, right? But once you have a product to sell, let's say you know what you want to sell, really the basics of the business model is you send your product to Amazon, you send it to an Amazon warehouse, Amazon then stores your product for you. So let's just say if you get your first initial bulk order of say 100 units of your product, you send those 100 units to an Amazon warehouse, and if you're selling in Australia, it will be a warehouse right here in Australia. Amazon stores them for you. Once you have your product in Amazon warehouse, okay, obviously before that you're going to have your product on Amazon's website. Okay, so it's all ready to go. A customer will see your product. Let's say they want to purchase your product. Once they purchase your product, okay, Amazon deals with everything from there on. Okay, so once a customer purchases your product, Amazon then grabs it from their warehouse, they ship it directly to your customer. Logistics, everything else is taken care of. Pretty much the returns are taken care of as well. Okay, if there's any returns or anything like that, that's just a bit of a side note, but any profit that's left over from that goes directly to you. Okay, so all you're doing is providing with a product on Amazon's platform, and then you have your product sent to Amazon, the Amazon warehouse, and when someone buys it, then Amazon deals with the shipping and everything for you. And then you might think, okay, well, where does Amazon make the money? So they make the money from a couple of ways. They make the money from a subscription for you to have your seller account, okay, which is a small fee, which we'll get into in a second. And then there are also seller fees as well, which it really depends on what you're selling, but there's just a small percentage of each sale. Amazon makes money on that, okay? So when you think about it, even in Amazon Australia here, the hundreds, the tens, the hundreds of thousands of products that are being sold each day, each week, each month, okay, Amazon collects the fees from that, okay? And then there's also small fees like storage fees and things like that. So Amazon makes their money, right? But the where the Amazon fees come in, the seller fees are to have Amazon pack it and ship it for you. So that's why there are seller fees, okay? And that's why it's a small percentage of each sale. So that's how Amazon makes their money from that. But it's not going to matter, because if you're making profit, let's just say if you're making $20 profit on each item sold, it's not going to matter what the Amazon seller fees are, okay, at the end of the day. So the first thing we're going to need to do in order to sell on Amazon is find a product to sell, okay? And this is probably the most daunting part of the process, to be honest. The actual creating your listing, sending your product to Amazon, okay, getting it ready, things like that, it's actually not as hard. The hardest part, in my opinion, is finding a product, and it's the thing we've got to do first. Always the most daunting, but it is a skill in itself, and it's something that is going to take time to learn. It's going to be daunting in the at the start of the process, but it's just something that you're going to need to learn in order to be successful with Amazon, because really the success of your sales, the success of the business itself, comes down to if you have a good product to sell. So what I personally use and what all my students in Ecom Educate use is Helium 10. The reason we use Helium 10 is because it's a complete software that actually shows you how much the products on the Amazon platform are selling, and it shows you accurate sales numbers. And better yet, it works for the Aussie market. Okay, there's a lot of different platforms, a lot of different softwares out there that you can use for the US market, but Helium 10 was basically the first one that showed you accurate sales data for the Aussie market, and that is the most important thing. So Helium 10, it is not free. I think there are free trials for it, which you can use. I will leave the link down below to my own personal discount code. Obviously, I am an affiliate with them because I've been with them for at least the last couple of years, the last few years now. And just to let you know, it is an affiliate code, but it will give you a percentage off. So if you want to save some money, you can just sign up for the month. It's a month-to-month basis, right? So you can just sign up for the months that you want to do product research. You can use a free trial if you want, but there is a discount code down below if you want to use Helium 10. Now, if you want to know how to use Helium 10 a bit more, I do have videos of it on my channel, but I'm just going to show you a little bit about how it works and how we can use it to actually find how much a product is selling. So I'm going to use, for instance, let's just say if we are looking on Amazon here and we want to search for a coffee maker. Okay, we want to search for French press coffee maker. Let's just say we're looking to get into the coffee niche. We want, I'm a coffee enthusiast myself. Let's just say we want to sell a French press, but we want to look at how much we're selling. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different factors to look at here. We need to look at the demand of a product, the sales, but we also need to look at the competition. We're not going to get into that fully in depth. There are other videos on my channel which you can check out. We also go a lot more in depth with it, and we have PDFs and guidelines for what to look out for to make it a lot easier so it's not so daunting. Okay, because there's a lot of things that come into play, like reviews, the amount of sellers and things like that, but we're going to keep it simple for now, and we're just going to look at this French press coffee maker. Okay, so all I've done is just search up French press coffee maker into amazon.com.au here, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to the first result. And I just want to showcase to you sort of what Helium 10 does, the power of it. Now, this isn't the only feature that Helium 10 has. As you can see, we've got a lot of different things that come up on here. It's a Google Chrome extension, so you have to use Google Chrome for it. But we can see here that this particular seller, Secure, is selling a French press coffee maker, stainless steel one, insulated coffee press. Okay, it says with 2 extra screens here. This is a 17-ounce one by the looks of it, and they also do a 34-ounce one, which is a bit more expensive, but we're just going to do the 17-ounce one. And we want to look at how much they're selling. So what we can do here is we can actually go to the Helium 10 Chrome extension. There's this little guy here, and we can click it, and then we can actually click on the X-ray function, and it will show you. So once we're on a product page, it'll actually show you the X-ray of the sales of this particular French press. So we'll just wait for this to load. So this usually works quite quickly. So what we can do is click X-ray, Amazon Product Research, and it will actually show you the X-ray vision of the sales of this. So we're going to do a little bit of quick maths here. So this was the first listing that showed up on the first page of when we typed in French press coffee maker. Okay, so we're looking at the revenue. So their biggest seller here looks like 4.8K. Okay, so they're selling 65 units per month. Now this might look a little bit daunting at the start, but all we're looking at here is the title of, so the title of the product. Okay, this is the blue one that they sell. It looks like their most popular. Okay, they've got the brand name, they've got the selling price, they've got the number of sales. So they sell about 65 of these units per month of the blue ones by the looks of it. We can look at the sales graph if we want to, or we're looking at the revenue as well here. Okay, that is their fees as well. So basically what we can do here is we can look at how much they are sort of making. Now we can do a rough estimation. I'll also show you the actual Amazon FBA calculator as well, which will calculate in the fees, but we'll do a rough estimation of how much they're actually making. So let's say on the low side, they've got maybe about 30% profit. So usual profit margins, you're looking at anywhere from say 25 to 40% profit margins. Now there are some sellers that do like 50, 60% margins, but the sort of roundabout profit margins we're looking at for an average seller is anywhere from about 25% to 40%. So we'll do around the middle, say 30%, which is a pretty reserved number, right? So 4.8k, this is in obviously in AUD, so 4,800, and we'll do 30%. Okay, so 4,800, then we'll do 30% for that. So that is their pure profit of 1,440. Now, obviously, we haven't done the exact calculations of like Amazon FBA fees, seller fees, and things like that. But we will do that when we get to the Amazon FBA calculator, which is really important, the revenue calculator. But we're looking at something like this. So out of these, what have we got here? 4.8k sales, 1,440 is pure net profit we're looking at, okay? And that is in your back pocket. So obviously, when you look at the profit, you need to think of, okay, this isn't just going into my back pocket. You need to look at reordering inventory as well. But the more volume of of what you sell, the more profit you make, the more cash flow you have, the more profit you make, the more is going to go into your back pocket, and the more you can actually start keeping for yourself. Because Amazon is a very heavy cash flow based business. But it is very easy. Once you get it going, it's all about just reordering inventory after that, right? Now, I don't want to get into too much of the specifics here, but we're looking at this, okay? So it's a pretty cool number, okay? And that is in 30 days. Now, that might not look like a lot, but an extra, even 1,500 per month in pure profit is not too bad, right? It's not too bad to look at, okay? So that is how Helium 10 works. That is how I won't delve too much into actually finding a product. I just want to talk about how we look at products to sell. If you're looking at more product research, I do have a more in-depth Helium 10 video on my channel. I have a lot of other product research videos on my channel which you can check out. But that is just a little bit of how Helium 10 works. That is just one of the tools. This is the X-ray tool. They have a bunch of other tools as well, which again we go more in depth with in the Ecom Educate course. So that is something to note as well. So let's just say we wanted to sell this product. What we need to do after that is find a supplier. Now, before we do that, I just want to talk about the costs of actually selling on Amazon. So what we're looking at here is the Amazon Australia. These are the selling account plans. Okay, these are the costs of the plan. So to sell on Amazon, you need to pay a monthly subscription. Alongside, obviously, when you sell, you've got the seller fees for each item sold. But these are the plans that you're looking at. So the individual, no one really goes for, to be completely honest. This is only if you just want an account and you want to get everything set up before you get your product in. Now, if you want to use Amazon FBA, if you want to use their fulfillment center, you want to get prime shipping for your customers and things like that, this is what you're looking at. Okay, everything you need to be an Amazon FBA seller is on the professional plan. Okay, so you can do this. But again, if you sell fewer than 50 items, you don't plan to advertise anything like that. Okay, so from just what I've seen, you can't really do much with the individual. So you're kind of looking at $50 per month. This is in AUD. From my knowledge, $49.95 AUD per month, and then you can keep it for as long as you have, as long as you have your inventory there and you want to sell. But that's what you're looking at. You can't really get around that. Then just a few of the other costs. We've got the FBA fulfillment fees. So parcel depends on what your product is. Usually as a beginner, we recommend sort of selling items that are maybe fit in a shoebox kind of size, just because it's easier with a smaller item for things like shipping and to really wrap your head around how everything works, profit margins and things like that. So these are sort of like the fulfillment fee per unit. They've got the different weight categories and sizes and things like that. Okay, so obviously as you get bigger sort of products, heavier products, obviously the fees go up. Okay, so you can have a look at this on the website. It's completely free to do that. Just if you just type in Amazon Sell Essential Australia into Google, it will come up with all the fees. Okay, so that is just what you're looking at to get started with Amazon seller account. I wouldn't even bother getting into an Amazon seller account until you've actually found a product. So first thing I would do is dial down on your product research. Then you can look at creating a seller account. Because if you create a seller account, you start spending $50 per month, you're just sort of wasting money. Okay, so that's just what I recommend. So, like I said, let's say we want to sell this French press. Okay, we were looking at selling this French press. What I personally do, what I've done for the past 6-7 years, right, and what my students have done for the past 5 years, is use Alibaba. Alibaba is predominantly Chinese suppliers, and there's a huge selection of high quality suppliers. It's different to AliExpress. If you've ever used AliExpress, AliExpress has really cheaply made products. Alibaba is where you've got, majority of them are very secure suppliers. They have high quality products. Okay, you can get samples from them. You actually get in contact with them. You can talk to them, discuss with them. You need to talk with them and discuss with them, to be honest. But it's a lot higher quality. You've got good, reputable suppliers here, and it's great for Amazon FBA because a lot of these suppliers here in China have dealt with FBA sellers and they know the sort of process, and they're very good with, you can put your logo on there, you can on your products, on your packaging, you can talk with them about changing things with your products and all that. There's just higher quality overall and a better experience. Okay, so let's say if we wanted to sell this French press coffee maker, we wanted to look at how much a unit's going to cost us. So if we can go back here, we can see that they're selling $44.30 AUD for one of them, and this is for the 17-ounce one. Okay, so we're not going to really look at the sizes and whatnot, but let's just get a general idea of what we're looking at. So what I did from here is I typed in on Alibaba, I typed in French press coffee maker, and I looked at the listings here. So if we want to do that again, we can do French press coffee maker, and we can look at the different listings. We can look at the different suppliers. I'm not going to delve too much into this. The things that you can look at here are minimum order, verified, whether the supplier is verified, how long they've been a supplier here on Alibaba for, okay, and obviously they're a Chinese supplier. But these things really matter, verified, and how long they've been in business for. Obviously, the longer they've been in business, the better. And then you can look at these little gems here. This is like the amount of transactions they've done, so the more the better, obviously. But this one looks pretty good, okay? Obviously, we're not going to look at the minimum order because that is something that a lot of suppliers do. So if you're looking at sort of minimum orders, some suppliers say, okay, if you want to order from us, you need to do a minimum of 1,000 units, right? And obviously, we can't do that as a new seller unless you have a ginormous first sort of initial investment, which I don't always recommend. Okay, usually for a first order, you're looking at anything from on the very, very low side, $1,000, but I'd say $1,500 to $3,000 for your first initial order. You're looking at that. But if we look here, so you can negotiate this as well, and we're not going to get into that, but you can contact your supplier and you can negotiate whether they can do under 1,000 units. But let's just say they can do 100 units, okay, but a unit is $2.50. Now, this is in USD, so that is maybe around about $4 AUD. For the conversion rate of that. So you look at this and you think, okay, it's $4 AD, but you're not looking at the different costs, because as a complete beginner, you don't factor these things in. Obviously, I've done this for quite a while, so it's not going to be $4 AUD, okay, just for a unit. You got to look at the shipping costs. You got to look at, are you going to put your logo on it? So that's going to be a fee per unit as well. You have to look at import tax, things like GST as well. So really, all in all, it's not going to be $4 AUD. It's more so looking at, I'd say, just guesstimation off the top of my head, $8, maybe $8.50 per unit. Okay. Now, what we can do from here, let's just say you wanted to look at selling this. The supplier looks good. You like the look of this. Okay. Maybe you can talk to them about changing your packaging for no extra cost or for a small fee. Maybe you can look at getting a logo on there as well. Sometimes they can do it for a really, really good price as well. Let's say we like the look of this. You can contact the supplier. You can get involved with them. You can ask them for quotes and things like that. Again, I have videos on my channel, which you can check out, which actually shows you how to get in touch with them and what to say and whatnot. I also have in the Ecom Educate course, I have the complete script of what I say to my suppliers to really find out how to get the best quote and how to search around for the best quote as well. So that's something to consider, but you can contact them in here. Now, the only thing I'll say in this video is all of your messaging, all of your contact, all of your payment, I would do through Alibaba, because Alibaba has a thing called trade assurance. And if anything happens, so it says here protection with trade assurance, if anything happens with your supplier, I'm still yet to have a student or have any issues myself with suppliers through Alibaba, as long as they're verified and everything checks out. Still yet to have any issues with any suppliers with being dodgy or not delivering on what they say or anything like that. But just in case, always go through Alibaba. Keep your messaging through Alibaba. A lot of them are going to ask you to do WhatsApp. keep it through Alibaba because you want all of your chats to be logged. So if anything happens, you have everything on file through Alibaba. Keep payment through Alibaba so you have everything through there just in case anything happens, okay? Like I said, nothing's ever happened for myself or students, but that's just in case. Keep it all on Alibaba. That is what I would recommend. So let's say we want to, we get a quote, and let's just say they give you a quote for, everything included, shipping, everything comes out to $8.50 AUD a unit. We can actually calculate, before we actually make our order, we can calculate our profit of this product. So let's just say if we want to look at selling this again, $44.30. What I did was I used the Amazon FBA calculator, which is Amazon's own calculator. I got the ASIN, so this is this particular product code for this product, and I put it in the calculator. So I put it in here, and what that does is it actually gives you a reference of what the fees would be for this particular item. So I put that in, it came up with the exact same listing, gives you the Amazon fees, so Amazon fees, storage costs and whatnot for to calculate everything. So I put in the item price, $44.30, which is how much you're selling it for. I put in how much we're looking at selling. So let's say if we're aiming to sell, estimated monthly units sold, 100 units, we're looking to store 100 units per month. That'll just calculate the storage fees, but it calculates everything. So then what we want to put in here, obviously we want to make sure you're in Amazon fulfillment. We've got the item price, and then down here we want to look at the cost of goods sold. Okay, so the cost of goods, $8.50. Like I said, let's say our supplier came back with a complete product cost of $8.50 per unit. I put that in, and then we scroll down here, and what this calculator will actually do is give you the actual net result. So it'll give you the net profit. Okay, so for this particular cost, if we're selling it for $44.30, our product cost is $8.50. With all the fees and everything, our net profit is $21.09. Now what you can do, which is what I used to do all the time, but I would not recommend, is you can hype yourself up a little bit. Let's just say if we wanted to sell 100 of these per month, okay, we do 100, that's our net profit per month. But that is very, very, I wouldn't do that, even though it looks cool. It kind of skews your perception because not everything usually goes to plan. This doesn't factor in any changes to your product price. This doesn't factor in if you're running Amazon ads, like Amazon PPC ads or anything, the cost of that. Any extra costs that might show up. Maybe you get people to do reviews for you. Maybe you get product photography. Okay, so that doesn't factor in any of those costs. But this is just if you were to, everything worked perfectly, 100% perfect. You are selling this at the same price. Nothing changes. Okay, that's the net profit that you're looking at, which is really, really cool to see. But I just like to keep this at 1, just because it's more realistic and it gives you a better idea of how much profit you're looking to run. Let's just say if you wanted to sell it for a cheaper price, okay, this is how it plays in. Maybe you're looking to compete at a better price range. Maybe you're looking at $38.95, okay, for that, right? So then you're looking at this for profit margin. So you can play around with these numbers. It's free to use this, and like I said, just get the ASIN for the product, which is just this little guy here. It's in the URL. It starts with, usually always starts with B0. Okay, so you get this little ASIN here in between these two brackets, and you put that into the Amazon revenue calculator, and then you can go ahead and calculate how much your profit's going to be. So before I get to near the end of the video, I just want to talk a little bit about why I think it's so important that you need to start. Like I said, like these numbers that I've shown here for my past students as well, I myself started selling back in 2017. I even have early videos of when I first started. My first product, I made about 2 to 3 grand pure profit in my first month of completely selling on Amazon FBA. That was in the US, okay, but a lot of these Aussies here are getting started in the Aussie market. It's not as competitive. You don't have to have as big of an initial investment, and even though the market isn't as big, there's still so much money to be made here. And like I said, it's not all about money, okay? Even though, yes, you want to make money from an online business, it's something you can build for yourself, and you don't have to do it full time, okay? Once you get up and running, it's something that is, I wouldn't say it's passive income, but it runs more so on autopilot after you put in that initial work, okay? Because there is money to be made. And like I said, the conditions of living here these days, just living in this country, just living on Earth, right? It costs money to live, obviously, but with the rising costs, it really does help to have something there that grows, alongside your income that you're making if you have a job, if you have another business, right? Making an extra $250, $500 in profit per week is something that can really help a lot of you out there, and Amazon FBA is a great avenue for that. Okay, so that's why I think it's really, really important to start. Having any online income is really, really important in this day and age, in my opinion, and Amazon FBA is just really, really good start for beginners. And before I leave you on this video, I just want to talk about Ecom Educate for those of you who are interested in getting in touch with other Aussie sellers, getting an in-depth how-to on how to actually do all of this with a proven step-by-step method. I have Ecom Educate, which again, like I said, I've been running for the past 5.5 years now, and we have pushed out a lot of successful sellers. And the goal for this isn't to make millionaires, okay? It's just to get you up and running with your first product to start selling, and to really show you, the right direction. One of our top sellers, Athar, was at the point where he's making over 40 or 50k in sales per month overall. Okay, and if you calculate that out, 25 to 30% profit margins, that's a good chunk of change, right? And like I said, he only started in the Aussie market as a complete beginner. He just started with a step-by-step method, and then he learned things along the way. Okay, he developed his own methods. Okay, he found new ways to do things, but the catalyst for that is just to have a proven step-by-step method, and one that is built for Aussie. So if you are interested in this, I will leave the link down for this course down below. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. I'll leave my Instagram down below as well. But you've got everything that you need in here. Okay, I'll just scroll through this quickly because you can look at this yourself, and it is on sale at the moment. We've got a Black Friday sale going on, so if you are interested, please go ahead and check it out, and you can have a look at all the different content that's in there. Okay, you can have a look at everything that's involved. We've got a few preview videos which you can check out as well, but you can have a look at the sort of outline of what's involved. There's a lot of different videos in here, and this is going through years and years of development and refining, just for those of you there, especially in the Aussie market, especially those of you who are Aussies. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you're more than likely an Aussie or someone who's looking to sell in the Aussie market. It's something that I think is really, really important. So if you are interested in this, please click the link down below and check it out. We've got some, these sales here are actually from our students as well. These aren't fake numbers. These are screenshots from actual students. So all of these here are from our students in the course over the years, and we're going to be creating more and more successful sellers over the coming years as well, as as we grow alongside the Aussie market. So like I said, if you are interested in that, please click the link down below. Apart from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, hope you are still enjoying the content. My camera battery died. Well, the temperature got too hot. I was filming too long. But like I was saying, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe wherever you're watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.